Every Metroid fan knows the series is based off the classic Alien franchise, but let's take a closer look at all the homages, all the references, all the ways that Metroid has gained inspiration from the Alien films over the past 3.5 decades. Let's get the obvious out of the way first, which also allows us to start at the beginning. The original entries in the Alien and Metroid franchises, and almost every entry in both series for that matter, both feature a female protagonist who fights off dangerous, face-hugging aliens in outer space, escape before the countdown reaches 0, causing the facility or ship to explode, and end up scantily clad. In fact, just about every Alien movie and Metroid game ends with a countdown to self-destruct sequence, so rather than mention it again and again, I'll just say now that that's pretty much how they all end. And in some of the games it even happens at the beginning as well. Now into the more specific with Metroid 2, and I'll be using gameplay from the remake rather than the original Game Boy version because it's nicer to look at. In Aliens, the second movie in the franchise, Ripley travels to the alien homeworld LV-426, and before the film's end, takes it upon herself to eradicate the alien race once and for all, or so she thinks. In Metroid 2, Samus Returns, Samus travels to the Metroid homeworld SR-388 to exterminate the Metroid species. Samus possesses a Metroid detector in the 3DS remake that functions much like the motion tracker on Aliens. And at the end of both Metroid 2 and Aliens, the final climactic battle takes place between our heroine and the alien queen, who bear some resemblance. Super Metroid, despite being arguably the most classic game in the series, actually includes the fewest alien homages. Only a couple worth noting, besides the 2 countdown to self-destruct sequences, of course, and they both occur near the game's end. During the escape sequence in the game's final moments, the player is given the option to risk their own life in order to take time to save the animals, in the same way that at the end of Alien, Ripley risks her life during the countdown to save an animal of her own, Jonesy the cat. Just before that, in the final boss fight, still under the assumption Samus is its mother, the Metroid hatchling born at the end of Metroid 2 saves her from Mother Brain, just as the alien newborn killed the alien queen, saving Ripley in Alien Resurrection. And this final scene of Samus escaping the planet Zebes before it explodes seems clearly inspired by the Ripley escape from LV-426 at the end of Aliens. But Alien Resurrection, the 4th movie in the franchise, had far more influence on the 4th Metroid game, Metroid Fusion, which is the game that maybe borrows the most from the Alien films. It's at this point in the Metroid series that the Federation starts to resemble the company from the Alien movies, Weyland-Yutani Corporation. In Alien Resurrection, Ripley is cloned and brought back to life by company scientists. Because she had an alien queen's embryo gestating inside her at the time of her death at the end of Alien 3, their DNA is inseparable during the cloning process, and as a result, she's become a human-alien hybrid. In Metroid Fusion, in order to keep Samus alive, Federation scientists fuse her DNA with that of the Metroid hatchling introduced at the end of Metroid 2, making her a human Metroid hybrid. Because Ripley is half alien, the aliens don't attack her, just like Samus isn't attacked by the Metroids in the space station for the same reason. Both Fusion and Resurrection feature a scene in which our hero happens upon a restricted lab containing test tubes with the company's, or Federation's, cloning projects in various stages of development, and in both cases the lab is destroyed. In order to prevent the evil Federation, or company, from getting their hands on the aliens, the space station that the entire movie or game has taken place on is set to collide with Earth in order to destroy it, or in Metroid's case, to collide with the alien homeworld SR-388. Oh, and you save the animals again. Metroid Prime and its sequel don't borrow quite as liberally from the movie franchise, only in the game's opening, and that may owe to the fact that instead of Nintendo R&D1 developing this game directly in Japan, as every game had been up to this point, this time Nintendo handed the reins over to Texas-based Retro Studios. Right from the start, the entire concept of investigating a mysterious distress beacon is lifted from the Alien films. Of course, we have the obligatory countdown to self-destruct sequence on the frigate shortly after, but other than that, there's really not much to go on. Prime 2's got nothing worth mentioning, so as far as Alien homages, Retro really dropped the ball here with Metroid Prime. Until Metroid Prime 3, that is. The Berserker Lord being sucked out into the vacuum of space is an obvious reference to when the Alien Queen is sucked into space in Aliens, or the end of just about any Alien movie. Almost all of them end with an alien being sucked out into space. Samus being forced to kill her fellow bounty hunters when they're infected with Phazon is much like when Ripley is forced to kill her fellow humans in several of the Alien movies, after their impregnation by the aliens. As Ripley destroys the alien home planet LV-426 in a nuclear explosion to exterminate the species, so Samus destroys the planet Phase in order to wipe out Phazon. And yet again, we have another escape the self-destructing vessel, get to the emergency pod, but forced to take an unexpected detour sequence. I only mention it this time because Metroid doesn't usually give us the full escape experience, the unexpected detour being the cherry on top that's usually missing. And finally, the similarities in Metroid to Other M are so numerous and the game so plot-heavy that it might as well have been called Aliens the Game. However, it would take so long to list them all out, and I cared for this game so little that I'm going to go ahead and just call it a day with the end of the Prime Trilogy and wrap things up here. I don't know, maybe it deserves its own video, all on its own some other time. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.